And we're good. Hey.
Are we live?
Did you start it? Give me a countdown,
Did.
man.
Yeah. What is that, Justin?
I'm bad at countdowns.
I fixed it! I saved the day!
Literally can't count. Hi, everyone. We are Never Split the Party, and we are getting over some technical difficulties.
And we split the
Oh
party.
my god, Dustin's webcam is in front of Chris's, Justin. Fix it.
Oh, jeez.
Correction, we are still having some technical difficulties. I tried to get really fancy with
now Chris is up.
overlay window cuts, and it kind of worked, except I forgot about layers and how we are all on one window with Zoom. And yeah, this is what happens when your OBS person and your overlay person aren't the same person. But we are working on it, and I'm sure Justin will finish it while I am speaking.
Yep.
Hey everyone, thank you guys for hanging out and being patient. For those of you joining us for the
Where'd
first
Dustin
time,
go now? Jeez, holy crap.
what? Why are we? What?
This is such a good one.
Justin's breaking
where did
everything
Dustin
again.
go?
I thought it was working fine.
It
Whatever.
was working fine for you.
That's fine. I'm not worried about it. Just listen to my disembodied voice. For those of you who have not seen us before, we play Paizo's Starfinder, which is kind of like Paizo's Pathfinder in space, but a little bit more involved than that. You could also call it the Pathfinder 2.0 playtest, but I digress. It is a sci-fi tabletop RPG, and we are an actual play live stream. Most of our episodes do also hit our audio podcast. This one not included. This is going to be a special Twitch.
Doing it again.
YouTube only. I'm still over Chris. Can't you just zealous crop thing where you just drag it with the window?
Hold on. Oh, now you're over there. Y'all need to be in the right spots, and apparently you're not.
Oh, it's fine. Oh,
Chris is too big. That's why. Giggity.
This
Stop
evening,
invading my space, Chris.
Don't worry, that's right. Justin will fix it. We are playing a one-shot, still set in our Starfinder universe, which is a homebrew universe that is set in Starfinder's setting with a whole bunch of other stuff that I keep adding because I can't stay on track with anything. This one-shot is a bit of a prequel, actually. It takes place in the years leading up to the beginning of our Mostly Harmful, our main campaign. The players will be playing characters that will eventually show up as NPCs in the main campaign, specifically as antagonists. Now, antagonist, villain, bad guy, those are all words that are pretty subjective in terms of, how bad the players want to be. And I'm mostly saying this for the players' benefit because I'm expecting a bunch of BioWare written renegade bad guy routes, which I don't want because those are kind of rough. So there'll be some story elements to this. Their characters are starting in the Border Space Union Military Academy as relatively fresh recruits, and kind of reflecting that, I'm having them all start at base stats. So 10s across the board. They'll get their racial bonuses, which I will actually have to get from them because we didn't quite get there on time. And as the session goes on, we have them test certain things, and when they fail, depending on what the nature of the test was, their stats may be reduced. When they succeed, their stats will increase. At the end, we'll have some sort of hodgepodge character, overpowered, broken, or completely useless. And that's what the players get to face when we eventually meet these NPCs later on. Questions from my players before I move on to some other announcements?
Yeah, why wasn't my name spelled right?
That is how your name is spelled. It's now canon because I did it. Angel, thank you so much for saying this is a cool layout. It was brought to you by me for the most part, but I want to thank very much Nick and Justin for actually making it work. And now that they know how to do it, I'm going to try and do weirder layouts in the future. Steve had this thing where he wanted to blow us up in just different hexes around a Roll20 map that looked like a shard kind of thing spreading out. It looked cool. Well, maybe.
He wanted to blow us up?
Yes. Well, I mean, always.
Leviathan's a bad guy?
Any other questions before I get into announcements? Perfect. So you should see below me, there is a window that if Justin did it right, which I'm assuming he did, should be rotating through some different things. Nick is giving me the shaking the head. Is it not rotating?
No, it is.
Stop that.
Yeah, no, I did it right.
This is just, I only think I put 3 up there. It was mostly part of the test. And also, I mean, I didn't want to do our character information when we're doing special one-shot characters. Eventually, this will include stats for our main cast characters, like little character sheets, and some other things as we get through there. For now, he talks about our Patreon. So if you want to support us and you like watching a hot mess of a show like this one has turned out so far early on, or you want to learn about the cast that's up there. And there is a new additional thing we're doing for our Twitch subscribers. If you guys are subs, you have our access to our emotes and all that fun stuff. I'm now giving, based on the tier, certain ways to interact with the stream in real time, real-ish time. Being there's a little bit of delay between Twitch chat and the actual stream. So for example, if our tier 1 subscriber wants to give one of our characters a reroll, they would do exclamation point reroll, type in the character's name. In this instance, let's say we're giving it to Chris's character, Torgrad. And Chris will now have a reroll that he can bank and use anytime he wants during this episode. Probably it'll get used relatively quickly, just to get them done with and not waste them. They do not carry over into later episodes or anything fun like that. It's just something to get our subscribers and our folks on Twitch a little bit more involved with our games. Eventually, I will have little icons that track, and I'll make Justin do the tracking when they are issued. Tonight, I did not get that far. I was busy working on all of the other things. All right, guys. You ready to be bad guys?
Yeah.
I'm ready to be a bad guy.
That's a good point, Armax.
Well, they all think Zero's a
Hey,
bad guy to
Dustin,
begin
what was
with.
your issue?
Damn.
Ooh.
I did not see that coming.
That's not how it's pronounced.
It's nosy.
That was partial random name generator. Partial. I
That's an
might have been slightly
unfortunate
influenced
name
unintentionally.
generator.
I watched Inglorious Bastards last night. I don't know. Justin, your character's gonna be great. That's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you for making
Is he
me
going
the
to talk
nosy.
like this the whole time?
Yikes.
At least
Stream
I'm not the
Boss
bald
isn't
one.
there.
That's
Stream Boss, because it's not relative to the one shot. I'm not incorporating into. I'm not mentioning it this time around. I will eventually have to find room for it.
It will still count. Need to
Yes.
make a note, but
Yep.
yes.
There's a Stream Boss panel below our stream, as well as a brand new fully listed commands panel, so you guys can check out different commands. Stream Boss appears in both. We just won't have the levels displayed for tonight's show. All right. Moving on into the next part of this. I'll have you guys do your introductions as to who you are and who you're playing, kind of in scene. So hold off for a moment while we just kind of reiterate. This session takes place at this point about we'll call it 4 years prior to when we meet up with the crew that would become the crew of the Indecision. That is to say, our main campaign. My players now have been recruited specially for a unique class offered at the Border Space Union Military Academy based out of Pyramid Station Alpha, which in our up-to-date campaign is the late great Pyramid Station Alpha. The party finds themselves in a classroom that is segregated from the rest of the academy, which is a large, bustling area, partially attached to Pistol with different accesses to other like mini campuses, which we'll get into in a little bit. It's a bustling academy. There's a large number of students from all throughout the vastness of space. Not many from the Pact worlds, but everywhere else. They send different recruits, different students to learn both military trade skills, but also join the Border Space Union military, which is its own kind of entity. In this particular room, which is in a hallway cordoned off from the rest of the student populace, there are 8 figures present. I'm going to have the players introduce themselves, and then I'll get into the other 4 figures present. So, Chris, if you could start by introducing yourself, your character, their name, race, and one thing, other than like a physical description, one thing that does make them visually distinct. Got me?
Yes. All right. So I'm Chris, and I play the best known only as Torgrad. I wear very, very ritzy clothing.
That's what puts you apart is the ritzy clothing.
Very, very rich. he kind of stands up because he almost radiates just money,
Radiates money. Okay,
Big
I like it.
Money.
luxury.
Okay. And next up, Michael.
All right, I'm Michael, and I am playing a Vesk also. His name is Karn. And from his apparent stature, the way he carries himself, you can clearly tell that he comes from a military background, or family, rather.
Okay. Would you say he is military as in professional, military as in he's buff, military how?
Um, Definitely professional, strict upbringing, and probably physical as well. So well built.
Okay, perfect. Coloration from you two. What's your color, Chris? What color is your Vesk? Because there's scales. I mean, they vary pretty wildly in hues.
Yeah, let me just take a look at that token I sent you because that's basically the one I'm going with. Blue.
And mine will be like a dark green.
Dark green. Perfect. All right, Justin.
Oh, we're not going in clockwise. Oh, see how it is. My name is not. No, I'm not doing that.
Oh, hello.
My name is Justin. I am going to be playing Nazi. I almost didn't say that. I didn't come up with this name.
Is
Justin
he going
came
to be
up with
part
this
of
name.
station security?
I can't. Anyways, he is a Rhyphorian, which, if you don't know what a Rhyphorian is, they're native to planet Triaxis, and he's a winterborn Rhyphorian, meaning that his skin is sort of a grayish blue. They're also kind of like these lanky humanoids with long ears, long pointy ears, longer than like an elf. They like come out to here, and they're kind of like sinewy and such. And his defining trait or physical trait is that one of his ears is kind of chopped in half.
Gross.
Okay. All right. You're chopped up. You also have fur, right? Because you're winter. Is that right? I'm
A little bit of fur, yeah. Yeah, they got a little fur.
Confirm. Justin's a furry. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Well, we
That's-
already knew this.
And oh, jeez,
My bad. All right, fine.
I'm just getting it today. That's man.
That leaves us with Nick.
Hello, folks. I'm Nick. Not high this time. I play Schecter, who is a Barais Shirin, and the defining feature about him is, for all things considered, as far as Shirin go, he's extremely pale. Normally, they'd be like a nice darker brown color of sorts, but he's not.
Albino.
Yeah. I mean, not albino, but he's very much a light grayish, almost whitish color.
With some dark veins running throughout, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what you pronounce it Borace? We'll go with it. What a Borace is, like a Borace Shirin?
Yep. So Borace is pretty much it's a form of undead while not being undead because magic or technology, says the Packed Worlds PDF. And essentially, they have some benefits that undead are not usually afflicted by, but they also have their own drawbacks as well. Essentially, they still hold some particular talents from whatever race they come from. So, for instance, I still have blind sense from Shirin, but it's very more magical than just, hey, I'm undead.
Okay, that works for me. That is our cast of PCs. Also in the room, which is picture your standard classroom. Slightly uncomfortable desks that are a little bit too small, especially for the two Vesks sitting in them. A digital chalkboard on the far wall with a teacher's desk vacant in front of it. Trim, neat, pristine room, well maintained and kept clean, and occupied by 4 others. Sorry, I cut it down. 3 others. There's only 7 in the room right now, and the professor who's walking in as I'm giving this description. There is a rather meek-looking human, and on his name tag, which you see kind of like positioned on his desk, so you guys can all see at least his first name is Patrick. Just a meek-looking human, kind of unassuming. Considering the rest of the folks in the room, doesn't seem to necessarily fit in too much. Very, very self-contained. Not sloppily dressed, wearing military uniform, which you guys all have some cadets uniforms on. Just looking out of place. There is a third Vesk in the room, first name Garong, and they are sitting with utmost professionalism, arms folded gently across themselves and looking dead ahead at the digital chalkboard. And then there is another Riforian, this one a female and summerborn, so slightly different in appearance, with no fur and a little bit more tan because they're constantly out in the sun as much as they can be, with the first name Delphinora. They, as a group, the students aren't particularly interacting. You guys were dropped here without being given too much information, which is going to be brought to you now as the instructor wearing a major's uniform enters the room.
Gosh.
Yes, I have hats.
That looks awful.
Yeah, it's fine. It hurts too. I've got
You got the
hats.
gangster rim going on there. You gotta fold that.
He's got like a trucker hat going on there.
Yep. So I don't wear this one out in public. I bought it because I like Star Wars, and then I hated it because I didn't like the way it looked.
Yeah.
Does he say yo yo?
Rough purchase right there.
Yes. On the on the major's uniform, there is a emblazoned golden name tag, and it says Major Kaze, Caze. This figure is half elf as far as you can tell, mostly because elves aren't that common, and the features are a mix of human with like slightly rounded ears but still a little bit longer. Tall, lanky figure, moves with grace, except for when they take a swig out of a flask, a metallic flask they pull out of their sloppily buttoned coat, and they slink into their chair in front of the class and address you guys. Howdy, recruits. My name is Major Kaze. Do all y'all know why you are here right now?
Somebody.
Noted. Keeping track of this, guys, on your own for now. Chris, you get a point of charisma for your snappy clothing. Mike, you got a point of strength for your bearing and your kind of military background. Justin, I'm also giving you a point of charisma. Your cut-off ear makes you look pretty intimidating. And I do not remember what Nick's unique feature was.
He's extremely pale.
Extremely pale. I'm going to deduct a point of constitution.
That's fine.
Wait, do undead still have constitution?
Yeah, he's not technically undead.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is and he isn't, but in terms of this, yeah, he's good.
In Starfinder Packed Worlds PDF, it's like you're undead, but you're not.
It's like a half-dead corpse with a little bit of soul still tucked in there.
Yeah.
So does anyone answer Major Craze, or do I have to make the NPCs do all of the talking this episode?
I know why I'm here.
He rifles through some notes on his data pad. And why is that, recruit? Recruit, is this Star Screamer? Is that right?
Just Torgrad.
Torgrad. All right, recruit Torgrad. Why are you here?
I'm gonna be the best mechanic there is.
All right. That's tangential. Anyone else want to take a stab at it?
Because you put us here.
Well, that's closer to the truth. What's your name, my slightly furry friend?
Nazaram.
Thank you.
Yep. Going with the full name, because, yeah.
Because good reasons.
All right, Nazram. You're not wrong. Welcome to Pistols Academy for the Border Space Union. You are all recruited here to be part of a very special class of cadets. The leader of our military, the esteemed leader, he's slurring some of his words. Not that I'm going to be able to replicate that. He's a little intoxicated. The esteemed leader, Mr. Commander Gerson, has identified that we are going to need a new brand of officer in the Border Space Union, and you will be the first class of newly minted Inquisition officers. Now, you may already be aware that there are Inquisition officers. Those serve the Prime Minister's office directly. You will serve no one but the military. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal.
Yes.
You, other Vesk,
Yes.
you don't talk much.
I'm waiting for something worth talking about.
Damn.
A little fuzzy right now, so I'm not sure if I should be insulted. Would you say that that was an insult, cadet?
Yes.
Roll me an intimidate, please.
Ooh.
10.
10?
Yep.
I'm going to give that a pass. All right. I'm not sure if I like the cut of your business. Yeah, but we'll get there. All right.
Well, you said he was a half elf, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about being Inquisition officers? Does this sound like things you do not want to do? Do you need a briefer on what an Inquisition officer would do?
Let's hear it.
Very vociferous crowd. What we're working with is Inquisition officers root out any kind of issues or complications found throughout the Border Space Union that would directly and negatively impact our military branch. Now, if this is some quieter operations to not spread further panic, if this is simply a show of face and make sure things are on the up and up, or if things get violent, Inquisition officers need to be some of the highly trained units we have on the field. That's going to be all of you. Maybe as mechanics, maybe as soldiers. Hopefully we get a couple operatives out of this crowd. Heck, who knows what you all be. That's what the aptitude test and your first year is going to be all about. It's getting you angled towards what we're going to build you into. Now, you know what you want to be. You can definitely take the test whenever you want for whatever class. That's totally fine. You want to be a soldier? You want to test for that? Awesome. We'll still take that aptitude test first. And I got a couple exercises. And if that test doesn't work out, we'll find another job for you. You all ready for your test?
Let's get started.
All right. For the test, I'm going to probably pick one of you guys and ask questions. If you do not know the answer, what I'm going to have you guys do is, you can pass. Pass is free. Building these characters is going to be a bit of a gamble. If you want to test intelligence, say if it's something intelligence based, or if we can say it's strength based or whatever, you can test one of your stats against it. If you pass the test, and I'll tell you the DC ahead of time, you increase that stat by 1. If you fail the test, you decrease that by 1.
Okay.
Comprende?
Sounds good.
Yep.
You said we have 10 across the boards. Does that...
No, add your racials, please. I
Okay.
didn't factor
All right.
those in. I don't actually have those.
All
All right. Let me do that.
So
now.
10's across the board, plus racial, plus
Mike,
or
for
minus
best,
whatever I
it's
give you.
+2 strength, +2 con, -2 int.
Be pretty rough, but that's okay.
So now 13. Strength.
All right, so Let me pick on someone a little different here. Nazaram,
Yes.
list the types of known energy damage.
Thermal. Wait, is that?
I'd allow it. Thermal,
okay.
heat, it's fine.
Yeah, thermal, ice, electricity, and can't remember the last one.
There's more than just those.
your Vesk might be right. Do you want to try and roll to test to see if your character would know it, even though the player does not?
There's cryo, there's shock, fire, or heat. I can't think of any others.
Do you want to make the gamble
yes,
test?
I will roll. Oh boy.
All right, so let's see. In terms of this, you can roll. I think this would be an intelligence check.
Hmm.
No, I don't think I'd give it to anything else. Yeah, if you want to make an intelligence check, I'll
10.
say 10 or higher gets it to you. Yeah, you were missing Sonic and
Yes.
it was. I think you said them all. I think you said 4, but you only said 3 the second time. I forget what the
Yeah.
other one is. Yeah, Sonic, I think, is the one you ended up missing.
Yep.
All right. So because you passed the test, like with the roll, and you actually managed to answer the question correctly, add 1 to your intelligence, please.
Who uses sonic weapons? Serious.
I really, really want to get a sonic weapon. Really.
Let me give this one to my creepy-looking Sharon friend. Give me an example of an archaic material used to make weapons.
Oh, come on.
In the interest of speed, if
Iron.
It's not a bunch of clicks.
That's not on my list. I'm assuming you have some sort of vocal modulator helping you out with that.
No, so he does have like his mandibles. Normally he would speak telepathically, but I can't do that, so.
All right, I'll allow it.
That'd be impressive.
Yeah, I'll allow iron. Not what I wanted, but it's close enough.
Adamantium or mithril or
Man, I'm trying not to go super fancy here. I ain't about being all flashy and whatnot.
Could I get Karn? What does
Wait, what did you say I should do?
Oh, you can choose strength or intelligence for that one.
Okie dokie.
Karn, what do bright weapons do?
Not 100% sure, but judging by the name, I imagine they disorient opponents with a flash.
Is that your final answer, Cadet?
That or I'd like to roll for it.
Roll for it. What are you wagering? For this one, I'd allow intelligence or strength as a test. Strength, I'm considering military might a little bit, so that's kind of why I'm bleeding into that. So I'll allow you to test strength for your military might or intelligence because book smarts.
I feel like I'd go with intelligence just because I feel like it makes more sense.
So you have a -1 to your intelligence right now, correct?
Yep.
Okay. This is another 10 or higher.
I rolled an actual 10, so I got a 9.
Cadet, they illuminate an area when used, useful in group coordination. I hope you do better next time. You lose a point of intelligence, Michael.
That's fine.
We should just do really bad on all of these so that these guys are terrible when we actually have to fight them in the real game.
Torgrad, last military-oriented weapon question.
Yes, let's do this.
Name me a weapon fusion. Anyone will do.
Returning.
Returning? All right. I'm going to allow you to increase strength or dex on that one.
I like that Torgrad's Rainer.
Rainer? Oh, Rain.
Basically, Rainer's voice.
Okay.
In my defense, bright weapons make no sense for the rest of our party in the other campaign because
You're not wrong.
we all have dark vision.
I picked questions that were kind of like off of use. I'm tripping you guys up. I also didn't ask Justin about the weapon fusions because I know he's looked at them. All
I
right.
haven't looked at any.
Oh, I thought you were talking about them with the.
Oops.
No, it was me and Chris.
Oh, damn it!
Yeah.
All right. This is a question for everyone. The other candidates are getting different test scores. I'm just rolling them for random stats, see if they succeed or not. That's how I'm doing theirs. I will accept an answer from anyone who wants to answer. There is an insurrection on a backwater planet. How do you pacify the situation? Throughout every question, he takes intermittent sips out of his flask.
Well, first off, I'd use my overabundance of money to pull together military and wipe out that scourge.
All right. Did you just tell me that you would hire mercenaries, basically?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really opposed to that. All right. Continue. Anyone else want to answer that?
Corral the weakest into some sort of holding chamber so that they are not.
Dude. Dude.
You know what? I had this character in mind. You're the one that changed the name.
I would put them all into
Corral-
these camps.
Corral the simple-minded into Hey, we're bad guys. We're bad guys. Just saying. Just
Yes,
saying.
let's be bad guys.
We're
Let's
bad
be
guys,
Let's
you
be
know.
emphasis. These are bad guys, everybody. They're bad people.
I should have put a disclaimer that the characters' views do not in any way
No.
reflect our views tonight.
That one.
Please
no,
continue with your.
It may reflect Dustin and Justin's. This is the character they jointly came up with.
Listen, I thought it was a nice name. I now regret it.
Yep.
What was your answer, Nazaram?
Basically, suppress those who are unable to think for themselves, so that they are not further disturbed by whatever is going on, and make sure that they are secure, while the higher-ups, possibly myself included, take care of the real situation.
Okay. That's an interesting answer. Anyone else would like to answer?
I
Yeah.
would. Oh, fine. Well,
Go.
No,
Go.
No, you said yeah.
And I think you're channeling Brawlogist now.
No.
All right. Turn the people against the rebel factions, destroying their morale, and then take out the strongest of their the resistance, and put the rest into some type of internment camp.
See, it's okay when he says it.
Yeah, what? Yeah, like, really? Come on. For real?
It's not that bad. Yep. All right. And I believe you were going to have an answer for me.
I would do much the same without the internment camps.
What
Make
would you...
sure the populace would fight for our cause.
All right. A conversion. Okay. Let me see if this matches you up with anything. Jeepers Christ. I don't think so yet. So for that, I'm actually going to give you a point of intelligence for. I wish I had your names written out for Torgrad. Karn, you got charisma because you're turning folks against each other, and that's going to be the same for Schecter. And I'm going to give wisdom to Nazaram because he kind of identified that picking on the strongest was kind of a priority. So go with that. Yes, good.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never asking about insurrections again. Oh, another one for the class. Oh, Patrick holds up his hand. Not that any of you guys have been holding up your hand. Howdy, y'all. I just wanted to say, I feel like I had a pretty good answer to that question. I wanted to superimpose, if you don't mind. Just, go down and chat with them. see what the issue is. Have some back and forth, and if it can be resolved amicably, maybe with the support of our resources, I think we could solve it without any bloodshed.
Nazram turns to Karn. That's a terrible idea.
I don't know why he's here.
Just whisper.
For the record, I say that clearly so that he can hear this. If that's not.
Patrick slumps back in his chair a little bit, and Major Craze says, Major Case says, some of you are here for family connections. Thank you for participating, Patrick. All right, next question. You find pre-gap magical tome on a field recon mission. What do you do with said tome?
Torgrad raises his hand.
Yes, Torgrad. Just shout the answer out.
I put it in my my personal museum with the rest of my artifacts.
Okay. Anyone else want to answer this question?
I would attempt to decipher it on the spot and see what it contains.
Any other questions?
I would quarantine it to make sure that it can't do anything bad until we can actually check it out. Or doesn't contain,
So
whatever.
what I said.
No, I'm quarantining it. It.
Very
It's
different
That's
answer.
exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting it in my own personal vault.
Karn, do you have an answer?
I would use it if I knew what it did. If not, I would bring it back and inventory it with higher ups for potential use by the military.
All right. Torgrad and Schechter. I'm giving you both a demerit. Earn 2 more of these in this program and you will be removed from this program. Is that understood?
You don't have your own personal.
We do not engage with pre-gap material. That is contraband of the highest order. There is no border space union territory where we allow any such tampering with pre-gap material. Is that understood?
Yes.
Karn,
Understood.
Karn, I would give you a demerit. However, you eventually arrived at the right answer, and I do not want to fail half my class in the first class. Don't say it again.
Don't say that specific thing ever again.
Nazram,
Yes, sir.
you were close. You did all right. Nazram gets
Thank you,
plus
sir.
1 wisdom. The other 3 lose 1 wisdom.
Damn, well, I'm wise as hell.
Oh, somebody has a 7 wisdom.
I get plus 4 wisdom already.
Oh, that explains why you had that answer.
Trying to RP the character, man.
Yeah.
How do I want to ask this one? All right, let's go with the let's go Star Trek on this. Last question for the aptitude test. Your starship is in an unwinnable, clearly unwinnable battle. What do you do? Karn, what do you do?
Find a way to get them to board the ship, because man-to-man combat would probably be easier at that point.
That is an interesting answer.
That or try to get reinforcements. If that doesn't work, try escape pods.
Stick with your gut, boy. I liked your first answer better. Does anyone else feel like answering this question?
Gather
Order-
as much resources and information from the battle at hand as possible to report back to the higher ups about the current situation on that front.
And then explode?
No. Why would we explode?
You are still in an unwinnable battle. All you have done.
You
during
can
this whole-
retreat afterwards.
I didn't hear you say retreat before, cadet.
I was going to say, order a tactical retreat, because getting out alive is better than, not.
Yes. To kind of hop onto that, I was going to say, kick the engines into overdrive and hope to hell that you don't get shot out.
Yeah. All right.
Cowards.
I'm gonna give Torgrad. That was mostly a military. You know what? I'll give that an intelligence. You utilized the ship specifically to kind of get out of there. You weren't worried about military procedure on that one. You went for knowledge of ship specs. I'm gonna give you intelligence for that. Karn, strength. You bring them in for a close-in fight where you have the advantage. What we have for Nazaram. I think you got another point of wisdom for that, bro. And Schechter, you were gathering material. I'm gonna say that's gonna get you a plus for intelligence. Don't know if that helps you at all, but that is what you got.
Okie dokie.
All right. This ends your aptitude exams for now. Do any of you have any questions for me?
Are we done for the day, or can I go back to my private quarters?
Private quarters, cadet. You sleep in the barracks with all of the other
Barracks? With all the other what?
with all the other inquisitive cadets.
Like that one? As he points to Patrick.
Yes, even that one. I'm sorry.
What is this?
The Border Space Union Military Academy. I thought I covered this. Maybe it isn't as nice as it is back home in, I assume, ye old Vescarium.
He just kind of grumbles at himself.
Swear I've heard that last name somewhere before.
I
All right.
have no last name.
All right. Do you guys have anything you want to ask either to the other classmates before this session of class ends and we move on to another day?
Can I get a reminder of the other classmates, excluding Patrick?
It's another Vesk. It's the first name Garong. This Vesk is a very dark scales, very swole, very big, imposing figure, female. The other non-Patrick character is Delphinora, a Riforian female with bronze skin, notably has some tattoos that may or may not be gang related on neck and face. Tattoos are, not any specific shapes. They're more like esoteric. Nope, that's not the word I want. Esoteric designs that may have meaning to her, but not necessarily to anyone else. Possibly to Nozaram.
So we can talk to anybody at this point, or like is class done?
Yeah, class gets dismissed. You guys are able to get up and leave. The instructor will stay behind for a bit, and if you guys have some things to poke around with, we'll go with that. Otherwise, we'll jump into the next session, which will fast forward by probably a couple weeks.
Just really quickly, gonna go up to the other Riforian. Summer, huh? Born that way or converted?
I find your question a little forward, but I'll have you know I converted. My family's not unable to afford such privileges, and she looks you pointedly up and down.
Well, got nothing more for you. And as I walk away, weak.
She seems unfazed. That's fine. Anyone else?
I ask aloud. Is the teacher dude guy still in here?
Yeah, he's sitting at the desk. He's now pulled out a full bottle of alcohol from one of the drawers, and he has started in on it.
How is it that you've gone and selected us all for this program?
I didn't select any one of you. That is not my job. However, you were likely chosen based on something you did back home or something you were back home. You didn't, when you applied to the military academy, you didn't apply for this program. This program found you. Other questions, you creepy looking Sharon?
That'll do.
All right, get out of my face. I got drinking to do. What?
This is the gruff voice stream.
Well,
This is
that'd
just
be
like
bad
gruff
guys. You always
boys.
channel the same bad guy.
Yes, I am the gruff voice.
That's how I hear Vesk.
Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
when you're not doing error cars, but that's fine.
I'm
Because
trying
I kind of want to
to
preserve my voice.
Yeah, and not die. I get it.
I'm trying to feel like outside of like how do you channel mandible sounds?
Okay, never again. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for
I
doing
liked
that.
how
That
you
was
did
like-
modify the voice after. Does
that
anyone have
was-
anything for Garong?
Um,
I was close to Dustin's. little
What were his
rat voice.
answers like to the questions?
Violent. It usually
Nice.
ended with dismemberment, specifically to show who was in charge.
nice. I like him.
Did he pass? Did he get good
Of course
grades?
he passed. He's probably ahead of the class.
Again, aptitude test. There is no failure. You just see what you're good at. That's
Well,
all.
did he get? He didn't get demerits, did he?
Oh, the only person who earned a demerit other than you guys was Patrick.
Something tells me he's not cut out for this class.
Yeah. Seems like some sort of like dock worker or something.
You know what would have been hilarious is actually if he aced everything, and he was just a really good spy.
He
He
just
is
drops
not-
out.
He is not out yet. One demerit's fine. You guys have 2 more demerits for wiggle room. All right. Fast forward. For the most of your stay there, you have private classes such as the one you just did. Topics are covered where you are exposed to different things within communication skills, working with people, de-escalation or actual escalation in terms of conflict resolution, espionage, subterfuge, a variety of things. It's like a hodgepodge series of classes, almost like you are sampling everything the institution has to offer. Sometimes you will mingle with other classmates in the like general populace. From meal times, you generally eat within the cafeteria with the rest of the students during any time the school is called together for the auditorium for announcements. And every now and then you'll go attend a specialized class if they're doing live fire drills or things like that. You may be included with the general populace. It's not going to matter too much how you interact with them right now. That was just for your knowledge. Is anyone doing anything in particular with the school at large, or are they just trying to get with their classes for now and get acclimated? We're heading up to your applications for your class specification. So if you guys want to get to that, that's fine.
Torgrad is just kind of thrown off because he lived a life of luxury, and it's not. There's nobody waiting on him hand and foot. He has to get his own high-end bottle of whiskey. There's, but he does.
Nazaram is the opposite, in that he doesn't have to fend for himself, and he's just not used to it because, well, they just give you food here? I'm used to having to scrounge it.
Schechter.
Only one chicken leg? Ugh.
Holy crap, a chicken leg!
Schechter, what you up?
So Schechter's kind of like scoping out the general, he's kind of scoping out the crowd, see what like the entire structure of like the student body appears to be, as far as like cliques, or like there's people who appear to be like leaders of particular groups or cliques and
And
whatnot.
What? Sorry, what are you doing with these individuals? What was the goal?
So he's scoping out. He's basically gauging the structure of the entire student
But
body
just
that he's coming
recon.
to. Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Oh well. Let's hope Brawl doesn't come back to haunt me here. 15.
You're not actually rolling a physical dice?
No.
Yeah, he gave us the opportunity to do that.
He
Yeah.
told us we should be.
I don't care how you do it. That's fine. Rolling a roll 20 is fine. So you are able to identify a number of different cliques, from people who excel in their class and people gravitate around them, to people who are exceptionally wealthy, such as your Vest compatriot, who maybe has a small
Hello.
following gathering, but it's still tiny because the classes being so segregated from the general population, you don't really interact with other students that much. And then you will also find there are some people who are just inherently charismatic, and people are drawn to them. And you get your average bully here and there too. What's that?
Are we identified as a separate class in any way?
Yeah, your cadet uniforms are of a darker shade. Everyone else's is like a light gray, like just very light gray with maybe some darker blue coloring. You guys have almost I'd
Do you have
say
any type of notoriety because of that?
not
Badges with skulls
necessarily.
on them.
What was that?
Nothing.
No, it's not. No, it's you have black uniforms where they're gray, is still with the blue highlights, and no, you have no special privilege. Mostly because nobody knows what you're doing. It hasn't been openly said. If you guys are talking about it, most people don't really have a grasp of why that's special at this point, because the Inquisition office as it stands is relatively small, and if you have interacted with them, it's generally bad. So yeah, you guys don't quite get any notification other than you are known to be a separate class, and you do get special treatment from faculty, if that helps, staff and faculty.
I guess there is something that Torgrad would do. He would start creating his own posse.
Roll me a diplomacy check.
All right, diplomacy is what, charisma?
Yep.
All right, so straight 19.
19. You have 4 lackeys in the school, and they are, I would say, probably Vesk or under Vesk subjugated worlds. So I'll say you've got a Vesk, a human,
What's a little
Skittermander, and
yeah.
Shirin. And they all kind of act as your cohort. You don't see them very often, but if you needed something done with general population, you would work through these 4 cohorts.
Cool.
Actually, there is something I do.
Yep.
If you're done, Chris.
So you said Vesk, a human, a Skittermander, and a Shirin?
Yep. A live Shirin, not any of Schecter's weirdness.
Okay, yep, good.
I think Nozram would be he'd probably go around and find just everything he could out about the entire area. Just get the lay of the land, figure out the fastest routes to all of the classrooms, exits, things like that.
So, in your exploration of the facility is a little bit odd. Barracks and common spaces are, in fact, housed in Pyramid Station Alpha in one of the upper tier domes. The rest of the academy, such as specialized classrooms and things like that, you actually have to access through a room called the Nexus, where a series of portals are kept. These are portals fueled by magic that bring you to other locations that are governed by the academy. In terms of the Nexus, you need special permission to go to each portal, et cetera, et cetera. So you do get a pretty well versed in terms of the layout of the school on Pyramid Station Alpha. You also know how far you can test your limits there, because cadets are not allowed to leave the academy grounds. Could you give me a perception check to see how well that actually works out for you?
Sure. Is that a plus wisdom?
It's your wisdom.
Okay, cool. 11. That is just passable. You have everything I said, no special toppings. So you're good to go. No bonus, no negative. Works for me.
Right. As far as what Karn would be doing, he would actually spend any free time he has going to like training facilities, getting used to any types of weapons he can gain access to, like any training fields, things along those nature, or anything that they would give him permission to use, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's call it athletics, which I believe is a strength test.
11.
11. You are able to use it. You don't really gain any proficiency, but you won't be surprised by anything kind of dropping in front of you. But in terms of like actual benefit from it, you don't get too much.
Justin, you've already got a +5.
Yeah, I got +2 wisdom normally for racial, and then I just got +3 from that whole
From his
test.
aptitude.
Yeah.
He is leaning a certain type of way.
+2
Yeah.
altogether then.
Huh?
That'd be a +2 altogether. You'd be at a 15.
But no, it'd be Yeah, I'd be at 15. That's what I'm at.
15 is only a +2 modifier.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
not +5. It's not +1 for everything
okay,
over
yeah,
10.
I getcha.
Correct.
So his roll would
So
have
yeah,
been
I'd be
a
8.
8. I won't necessarily sacrifice a point of wisdom for that, but I won't give you any of the fringe benefits I was going to give you for knowing the area. The stuff you learned was kind of general, like walking to class. You got that, and you've used the Nexus room and all that fun stuff. So nothing super pertinent in terms of escape route. You did not earn an escape route, which is useful or not useful in this instance. All right.
I'd like to follow up on my point if I could, and everybody else is done with theirs.
I believe so.
Okay. So as I was determining like the social structure of everybody in the place, I'd like to specifically find out people who seem either like misunderstood or appear to be loose cannons, and I'd just like to try to earn their trust.
Sure. Give me a diplomacy roll as you kind of try and make your way into. You get a couple of Librians in the school, which are, shunned. Sharon in general, they're pretty amicable. So your other fellow Sharon aren't really people you're going to bounce around to. But there are definitely some races that are on like they start off on uneven footing, even in the Border Space Union. And then within like even the races that are generally seen and more popular, you also get a couple outcasts like the Lashunta who can't actually use telepathy and things like that.
So I rolled an 8.
And 8, all of those characters, they do not like you. They find your particular taste of undeath kind of gross.
Fair enough.
So you are now outcast from the outcasts.
Are you gonna
Damn.
play dead?
All right. About midway through the semester, Major K's announces, all right, cadets, we are heading to the Nexus, and we are going to enter Portal Zeta 1, and we are going to do our first part of your application tests. This is going to be a general exercise, at the end of which you'll be allowed to test for whichever class interests you most. Hopefully you've picked up some skills along the way to help you with those tests. If not, that's all right. Failure is not necessarily going to get you removed, but it may result in a demerit. Questions, cadets?
What can we expect from this?
I ain't telling you a
Okay.
damn thing, son.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for asking.
Can I
It'd be
bring
dumb
my
not to.
flask?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I was expecting demerit, but yes.
Anything else?
I don't think he knows what he said.
You will leave all of your equipment behind. Keep your uniforms on, Patrick. You will be going in with nothing. The only things you will utilize are what you find during the trial. You may partner up, you may split up, you may or may not assist or block your peers. There are 7 of you going into this trial. You need to get through an area. And at the end of said area, there are 3 banners. Get me one of those banners. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Understood.
You guys head to the Nexus room, which is just a room full of different portals, which are not like major, like big, excessive, like ancient-looking magic items. They are more just technological-looking metal doors that do access into general portals to other places. And you guys enter into one that brings you to an area of the school you would not have been to before. And for all intents and purposes, it looks like you've entered a cave. Let me take a quick. I got to get you guys' token here. If we go to roll 20, Justin, are you able to open roll 20 in that area where the rolling window is?
What?
So on Twitch, roll 20 should go over where the rolling window with the Starfinder, the subscribers, Patreon goes.
Oh, is that what you want?
Yeah. So you just because that should be its own source. Just have
I
a
can-
source go over it with the roll 20 map, please.
Yeah.
I will eventually work in a more codified map for
I wish
the
you
area.
told me.
I did at one
beforehand.
point, but we have 17 different ways to talk to each other, and we don't always do it so well. All right, and
-1 charisma.
All right, now I got to get commands. The orangish armor, that was Karn, right?
Yeah, in green.
Wait, in like.
Yeah, the orange is
Okay, all right. And then
Green skin.
I can't really tell their skins. On my screen, I'm really zoomed out. And then this is going to be Brawl, except it's not Brawl, but that's how you're listed in Roll20. And this is there. All right, so you guys should have tokens on the map. Can you guys see the map? No, you can't because it's Fog of War. Hold on, let me reveal that Fog of War.
It's really dark.
It's real dark.
I do have dark vision, so I should be able to see.
Encompassing me, all I see.
There it is.
All right, so you guys should be getting a little bit more as I kind of reveal the opening area to you. And in terms of your allies, I need to actually get that that Patrick token. It was too good not to use. In fact, Patrick is going to represent the other three. That's how I'm using this token.
I accept it.
As soon as it loads. Yes, there we go.
I'm gonna zoom in on Pat's face right now.
I was proud of that one.
I asked Chris to put together my tokens while we were trying to fix all of the other things. All right.
There you go, everybody.
What we have here is a cave. The floor is just really dark, packed in. Nothing really noticeable. Nothing growing out of it. There's no substance other than just dirt. The walls themselves are made out of jagged stone. Some areas seem to have been cut via man-made tools. Other areas seem to have just fallen as they have, kind of making a jumbled mess. It is, I wouldn't say immediately recognizable by anyone. And the major does come in behind you guys, and he says, "All right, cadets. Do you have any questions before I set you off?"
None.
Reminder, you all signed off on a non-disclosure contract. So if you die in this cave, we do not disclose it to your families. Is that clear?
Yeah, Patrick.
What family?
What I like to hear. All right. Roll for initiative, guys.
Oh, initiative is Dex, so just a straight dice.
I
roll.
got a 12.
I got a 14.
I got 20.
16.
Nat 20.
So 16 puts, I believe, Karn in front. Is that right?
No,
There
Seeker
was
got, or Justin,
Ooh.
Nazi guy got it.
No.
Like, don't.
Nazaram.
Don't.
Where was
Oh, did
Dustin?
Dustin
Oh,
dead?
no! Oh, wait, he's there.
back, he's
Nope.
back, he's back.
He's fine.
where
He froze for
Aw,
a second.
man.
where was Schechter? Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Where was Schechter?
I got a 12.
Does that put you last?
What did Chris get?
I don't remember.
14.
There you go. You're
Yes.
left. All right. We have our boy Nazaram. You are first. This is in standard turn order. You guys treat it like combat in terms of you move X number of spaces. I will reveal things as you want, as you ask. Because we aren't doing audio, feel free to count it out so you know exactly where you're going, and you can tell me like
Yeah,
where.
and where's our NPCs in the initiative order?
They'll come last.
Okay.
Patrick tripped.
Pat tripped.
Or he was tripped.
It's probably the latter.
Now, is this where we're all actually starting?
Yep.
Okay. So
Yep,
I have
set to go.
a innate.
You guys need to find somewhere in this cave. There are 3 banners, and yeah, I guess at the end is what he said, I think. And yeah, whoever gets the first 3 is going to be the ones who successfully complete this program.
Okay,
Did we still have a moment to ask him a question?
You can use a standard action to ask him a question.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna move 30 feet into the cave and take a look.
I don't know how long your view is, so I'll just kind of try and do it reasonably. So in this cave, you kind of open up into a small opening area, and there are 3 kind of offshoots to it. The first offshoot, as you look down the kind of stone hallway, seems to turn off a little bit to the west, and it's stays like a tight hallway. A little bit open ups and then kind of tightens up a little bit more as far as you can tell. The middle of the 3 paths is actually a bit of a climb. There's like a jagged wall that goes about 20 feet up, and then there is a ledge that does appear to continue on further, deeper in to the cave, and that would be like just going kind of almost due north. And then when you get to the last path, which is all the way to the east in this area, there it ends in a statue. There is a large statue made out of some sort of white stone of a helmed figure. Not exactly sure where the image is from. It doesn't really match anything you have. It's just someone wearing very heavy armor, space armor. So I mean, not archaic or anything. It's not that old, but I mean, it still could be hundreds and hundreds of years old. You're unable to tell without doing some more research.
All right, and then I continue my move another 30 feet.
All right, and you choose path number 1,
Yes.
which is the one that kind of narrows a bit as you get into it. And what is your view? There is no actual light source in here.
Okay, let me see if I get dark vision or anything.
I'm about 90% sure that you all do.
Low light for Vesk.
You
I
guys are
have
gonna need to
low light as well.
Oh, low light. I don't know.
I've got dark vision.
I assume low light probably actually restricts your view a little bit more.
Oh, you know what? I get a +2 bonus to perception checks as well.
Probably should have known that.
Yep.
All right. We've got. I should probably close the GIMP image software because I keep trying to edit things in there instead of use like the reveal tool. It's not going well. In terms of low light vision, what do you do to give yourself some light then? Because you actually aren't able to really see in this cave.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything because we had to leave all our stuff there, right?
That's correct. Or you could roll stealth and see if you did or did not leave stuff there.
Sure. Let's do that.
Give me a stealth check and see if you were able to sneak some stuff in.
15.
Yeah, you're able to sneak in a like a small kit, like a standard adventure kit. So I'd say it came with a little flashlight that you'd use, and you were also able to fit in a knife into your boot.
Nice.
There's a knife in my boot. Sorry, continue.
So you have a torch that is casting off light.
Cool.
So you see this cave. Again, nothing really ahead of you. You just know that it does seem to be getting tighter and tighter as you go further down the path you've chosen. And I think that'll end your turn, right?
Yep.
That's going to give us Karn.
Um,
Karn, how are you seeing?
Seeing...
You obviously see a little bit when your friend Nazaram lit his torch, but are you doing anything for yourself?
I wouldn't have bothered trying to sneak anything in.
Okay.
But I will obviously use the light he's creating and follow him.
Okay, so you're gonna stay with Nazaram.
Yep.
Well, I probably would make sure that I am out of sight of what's his face before turning on the torch. By the way.
Oh, I'll say he steps back to the portal as soon as he sets you
Okay.
guys off.
All right.
I will allow you to still ask your question if you would like to, Nick. But for intensive purposes, once this is started, he leaves. He has no interest in watching.
It's fine.
Okay. All right. So you follow along. Do you say anything to your new compatriot?
Not at the
Karn?
moment.
Okay. Perfect. That means that we have Torgrad.
All right. Are there any like sticks or anything like pole-like around in the area?
Give me a perception check.
I was gonna roll off of roll 20. It is almost a 17. It was a 10.
Okay, so it's a 10.
Yeah.
No, like you look around and it's too dark. Even with like a little bit of light reflecting down that hallway, you're just having a hard time actually seeing anything.
Well,
it does seem to be a pretty cleared out cavern without much to use.
And we're not like stark naked, are we?
No, as Patrick got scolded, you had to keep your uniforms on.
Okay. Well then I'm gonna like tear off a good chunk, probably from like my knee down to like my foot of just like pant leggings.
Okay.
Right? And just kind of bunch it into a ball. I'm going to take out my flask that the teacher told me that I could bring with me.
Yep.
Cover it in high test alcohol and try to light, get a spark, with my nails off of the wall.
Nice.
Give me test what you prefer, life skills or strength.
I would say strength. So this plus 1, 19. 18 plus 1.
Chris's luck coming in strong.
Yeah.
You were able
This
to
is my good dice though too. This is the one I killed Stephen with.
nice. You are able to light your makeshift torch, knowing full well that it is not going to last very long because you're
And it's
using
in
your
his
hand
hand.
Clothes.
as the torch.
And it's in his hand.
Yeah, he's using his hand as the torch. Yep.
I kind of rolled it up really nice and tight too. Like if you tie a knot, it's going to last a while. But...
Yeah, you don't have very many turns with it.
Yeah.
What are you doing that you got that lit? I'll say that didn't take much for you. You set that up as you were getting
go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm getting going the second path.
Okay. Yeah, you get right up to this 20-foot rise that's straight up, and you kind of rest up against it as we go to your let me Schecter.
So Schecter is going to pretty much beeline it down the path that what's his face Torgrad went, also down the second path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And gonna scope out the wall there, or 2 moves, but I'm looking at the wall now.
Everybody remember the second diagonal is 10.
Mm-hmm. On one movement. Mm-hmm.
Yep, on one movement. Just what I did.
The other 3 all go to examine the statue. Patrick's kind of leading the way. None of them actually. You know what? Let me see.
Patrick's leading the way.
Yeah,
Really?
Patrick says we should go check out that statue. I don't think it'd be placed here for nothing. And well, he rolled a natural 1, so that didn't work for him. Yep.
Oh, no. Patrick.
They do not have any source of light, so they're literally like looking at like your retreating light source, and they're trying to work that way. It's not going to go well for them because we are back to Nazaram.
All right, so I'm going to continue down the corridor a little bit more, and 15 right here. See what's down that little passageway.
All right, so as it gets smaller, it opens a little bit, and then you do see down, the light starts to reflect a little bit more. It goes down to a pathway that becomes a crawl space. It is actually smaller than you would be able to fit in without like getting in your hands and knees and crawling through it.
And what's to my right?
Oh, sorry. It is just a tight end corner of the cave. It seems to kind of just truncate where 2 walls meet. It seems to be a natural formation.
Okay. So, I'm going to continue moving then. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45. Oops. Hold on. I miscounted. 5, 10, 55, 60. So 60.
If we do get on our hands and knees, how much is our movement slowed?
I think it's cut in half. Don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm going to say half just to make it easy.
I'm going over here.
So you get up to where it starts to get tighter, but it's not to the point. You've got about 10 feet until you have to start crawling.
And I'm going to shut my light off halfway through. As soon as I see where I'm going, I'm shutting my light off.
Okay, using the wall as a guide.
Yep.
Okay. That brings us to Karn, who is left in pitch darkness as you move away. I'll say you still have the 6 seconds of light, though.
Seeing that it gets really small, and I'm going to assume potentially too small for a Vesk to fit, I'm actually going to turn back and look down the other path.
Okay.
So 15, 25, 30. When I get here, do I see that they're at a cliff that I imagine they'd have to climb?
Correct. Yeah, you see that there's a 20-foot rise, and they are preparing to climb it, while the other 3 students have gone to look at the statue. It's a little bit further past that.
All right. As they haven't started climbing yet and are in my way, I'm going to move close to the statue to see what happens when the other students approach it.
Okay. Torgrad, you're up.
All right. You said it's about 20 feet up?
Yep.
All right. Well, then he takes his big ball of fire and kind of tightly wrapped up and just kind of hucks it up to the top.
Give me a dexterity check.
Dexterity. 8.
I guess instead of dexterity, that should be
A strength
acrobatics,
check.
maybe? Do you think it's
Acrobatics.
athleticism?
Athletics, probably.
Okay, we'll call it athletics, which should be
All right,
better for you.
then
which is your
9.
strength. A 9?
Yeah, because it's strength based, right?
Yeah, and all you need to do is chuck it. Well, actually, 20 feet. How far is thrown items? How far can a grenade go?
It's I mean the DC's 5.
Yeah, DC's 5.
Or-
And you're going. Yeah, for how far though? I guess is the question.
It depends on the grenade, but most of them are like 20 feet range increments.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna say that's not enough to get it all the way up there, and it's gonna fall down your fireball on either you or Schecter. I need reflex saves from you both.
Yeah.
17.
You're fine, Torgrad.
Not 20.
Schecter catches it,
All right.
and
Are
you are
you
now
immune
holding
to
the fireball.
fire?
That
And,
wasn't it. I'm not counting that as an action. You kind of tried to alley oop and it just didn't work. But
Okay. Then I'm gonna try to climb up then.
okay, and that is going to be an athletics check as well.
All right. This plus 1. Oh, 19 plus 1. 20.
Yeah, your climb speed I think is just half your movement speed, so you're able to get up there pretty easily.
All right.
You don't have any light though, but you are up there.
He just calls down. All right, just toss that up here, and I'll help you up.
All right. I'm gonna do the same, or exactly as he has done, throwing the fireball up the cliff.
As I can clearly hear that, I want to sense motive on the help him up part. Nat 20.
I'm gonna go with it. Chris, was Torgrad being honest?
Depends if he threw up the fire or not. If
Um,
he just throwing it up, then yes, he's gonna help.
Okay. I am throwing up the fire, which I said beforehand.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, you did.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Besides, Karn wasn't going to say nothing regardless.
9.
9 is what we already tried. Although, get me a reflex save from Torgrad. See if he can catch it.
Oh.
Reflex save. I'm sorry. Make that in acrobatics check. It's dex based. Make it acrobatics instead of
Acrobatics, so dex based. Just a straight 14 then.
Yeah, you catch it. That's no problem.
Nice. And then I'm going to attempt to scale the wall as well.
And I guess I'll aid another, right?
Yep.
All right. What would that be? Just I guess a straight 18. So you get your +2.
Yep, 10.
You make it up. 10's fine.
Nice.
10 is what you needed.
Yeah, I figured as much. So.
So you guys get up, and with the fireball, you have the area revealed a little bit where the kind of goes back and forth. That was only really one action from you both. I'll say because you guys did a couple things helping each other, we'll call it there. That's fine.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next, which is I think back to the top of the order with Nazaram.
The students.
Oh, the students. I'm so sorry. I skipped
yeah.
them and I shouldn't. They go to inspect the statue. And let's see. I'm going to have the 3 of them give me perception checks. Let's see. And I think Patrick, the dock controller, our future dock controller, got it. Yeah, he's actually the only one. The other students, the Vesk walks up to the statue and pulls back a fist and attempts punching it. Sees if that does anything. It does not. The other Riforian, what is your race called?
Riforian.
The other Riforian kind of goes up to it and producing a dagger from her sleeve, begins poking different parts of it to no effect. Patrick, stumped for a moment, kind of leans against looks like a proffered shield, which immediately clicks down and reveals a hidden passage as the statue grates
Of course, Patrick gets by with dumb luck.
and slips into the floor. That's canon for his character.
Mhm.
Although you guys actually, oh no, what have I done? I hit Control T, which is a new tab. You actually don't have the ability to see down here. I should take that away because you guys don't have any light. The statue does go away, however. I actually think I built that into the map, so it's not actually going to go away, but the statue is gone. So there's a path behind the statue. They do not have any source of light, so they are going to, from what you can tell, it sounds like they're scraping along the wall as they walk, and they kind of walk off into the darkness. Now we are back to Nazaram, who's
Okay.
the only one down the first path.
Hearing that Karn had gone back
Yep.
and is not following him anymore, he's gonna turn the light back on. Yep,
Could you make a
no.
perception check, Nazaram?
Yeah, sure. This is +2, +4 actually, because I have that +2 from my keen
Yep.
senses. 20.
20. You hear some sounds. When you listen for it, you stop and listen.
Mhm.
Sounds echo throughout the cavern, so you hear them talking about throwing something up. You can almost hear them climbing as they scrabble against the stone, and you do hear a larger grating as something bigger moves back down behind the path, behind you down the path.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep on moving forward. When does the slower movement start?
In 10 feet, you have to crawl.
Okay, so 5, 10. Then I get 15.
Make me a will save.
Will save?
Yeah.
20. At 20.
You are not claustrophobic like you were going to be. So you are able to get through without too much of a problem. There are a couple of tight fits as you scrabble through. You get stuck, but you're, I don't know, you're confident that the school wouldn't like intentionally leave you out in the lurch. And you are eventually able to make it through. You keep doing your movement. It ends in like 15 feet of crawling, or I'll call it 20 feet of crawling. Then you'll be out of the tight space.
Okay, so I moved 10 feet to get up to where I am now.
And then 15, 20 because it doubles your movement, right?
Yep. 15, 20, 25, 30, right?
Yep.
Correct? Okay.
Sure.
And then for second move up 1 for now, or 5 feet. See what I see.
You see a couple of things. Directly ahead of you on the northern wall, there is a wall that rises up, and the cavern, the cave is only above you, maybe like a foot right now that it's opened up from that little crevice. But the wall in front of you looks to go even past it. It's metal. It's actually not the rocky exterior. It is some sort of metal wall that encompasses this corner here, this northern wall that you're looking at, and then the very western edge of the wall, and then more kind of rocks go. The rock paths diverge. You can go west or you can go east. The east path is blocked by fallen stone that looks loose enough that you could probably move it with some work. Left is, as far as you can tell, unobstructed, and it follows that metal wall for a while.
I'm going to go left. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and look down this little alcove here to the south.
Sure. I'll say that's probably as far as you see with your torch. It seems to be a straight shot, and this seems to be one that was made by man-made tools because the walls are smooth going straight down. It's stone, but it looks like it might have been cut by some sort of laser drill.
Okay. I'm going to take one more step south for my last. And that's it.
All right, we have Karn up next.
So Karn is going to follow the students down the path that just opened up,
Okay.
putting his hand along the wall and following the wall.
Okay. For how long?
Probably 45 feet into past there.
All right. So 10. About 10 feet in, you actually bump into the other students briefly. Do you stop when you touch them, or do you keep going?
If the Vesk is the person I touched, I I'd actually say, excuse me, if it was anybody else, I would just continue on without saying anything.
I'd say you probably bumped into the Vesk. He's the bigger obstacle. So okay. As you pass on another 10 feet past that, you actually bump into a corner of the cave. You're kind of walking along, your hand on the wall, and your one hand in front of you because you're blind at this point in the cave. You hit what seems to be a corner. North is wall, directly east is wall, south and west where you came from, but south is the next way to go. You could go south. There is no wall that you're able to tell, although the wall you're on, if you keep following just the wall, seems like it turns around the corner and goes north some more. But there is no wall that you can touch on the south side yet.
All right. Down by my feet, are there rocks or anything like that?
So as you kind of scuff your feet around, no. Same texture ground you've been walking on through the path right now.
All right. In that case, I'll stop there for now and let the other students trip any stuff.
All right. And let's go with I guess we can go with Torgrad.
All right. So he's going to
Make a perception check, please.
okay. Well, all right. That would be a 4. I'm sorry, a 3.
That's a wisdom-based skill, right? You're just barging on ahead, not listening to anything, and I'm going to deduct a point of wisdom for you.
Should I also get this check due to my inherent blind sense? It's vibrations in the air that I feel.
Yeah, when it's your turn. Yep.
All right.
So, okay.
Then what he's gonna do is he's gonna continue down walking here, but what he's gonna do is rip off his other pant leg and start forging another fireball. Lighten the other one, and then after it's lit, just kind of tosses it back to his insect friend behind him as he continues. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Schecter, do you let Torgrad know that you don't actually need it?
I was going to, yes, but I can do it on my turn.
No. You can tell him, like, as he offers you the fire, you can say not necessary. Torgrad has decided not to let you go first or anything. But I mean, if Torgrad, when you tell the fire, does that change your actions at all? The fact that your friend does not need the torch.
You know what? Yes, I would toss it ahead of me then, as far as I could.
Give me a strength check, or let's call it strength. That's fine.
16
Same
plus
difference.
1, 17.
So DC.
That's probably 30 feet.
Yeah. So you throw it. It goes. So you can see right now 20 feet ahead of you. It goes another 15 feet. We'll call another maybe 25 feet, where it arcs over. The cavern that you're in, the hallway of this cave opens up into some sort of underground body of water, which is where your torch kerplashes into and goes pitch black.
Oh. All right.
So for a brief moment in time, you had the following illuminated. Yeah, so you got a little bit of water up ahead of you guys, about 60, 70 feet away from you.
All right. Well then, 1, 2,
that's 70 feet.
4,
Damn.
5, 6.
Is it not? Oh no, I'm so sorry. I cut that in half. I was doing I was doing 10. No, you're fine, Chris. I did my math wrong. Math's not my strong suit.
So are you saying that
you're seeing this as you approach it?
No. You saw it when you threw it. I said 70 feet when I should have said 35 feet. It's all.
So
That's all.
Oh, is it like my extended room?
Yeah, I wanted to make the joke.
These rooms actually close in on each other.
Justin's just telling my math or calling me out for it, so you're good.
No, I was saying it was funny that I thought he threw the rolled up flaming
that's what
piece
I was
of
saying by
pants
accident.
70 feet. I was like, holy crap.
I did the spaces right in my head. I didn't do the math right when I spoke it out loud. That's all. Let's see. How far can you see this? 5, 10.
He built it right, but he did everything else wrong.
Yes, everything else is right except for what I said. It's fine. Okay. All right. So as far as you can see with your like torch ball, you've illuminated more water, and it goes on both north and it seems to go the west truncates into a wall, so there doesn't seem any room there that you can see. And going east, the water continues around. There doesn't seem to be a way across the water without entering the water at this juncture. Your torch isn't really illuminating enough.
All right. And does it gradually go in like a beach, or is it just a drop off?
It's a drop. It's actually, I'd say it's probably about a full 5-foot drop before the water starts. So it's a pit filled with water.
All right. So 5 feet ain't bad.
No, it's not bad. It's just not like you don't wade in, you jump in.
Yeah. All right. Well, then he's gonna, kind of, get down, put himself in the water kind of nicely, and then hold the fire above his head.
Okay.
So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you're kind of crawling along the eastern edge of this bank.
Yep.
All right. And as you are walking along, you notice on like so to the south, a little area of ground opens up. Not much. It's not really that much ground, and it doesn't seem to go anywhere. It truncates in a jagged corner of the cave. In the middle of this patch of ground, you see something that looks different than the rest of the floor. You can't, from your current vantage point, really see much about it, but it glistens as the light hits it, which is why it catches your eye even as you're kind of hopping along this ledge.
Okay.
A little bit of glistening substance is in the center of this floor above you. It's dark as well.
All right.
That brings us to Schechter.
All right. So I'm gonna make that same perception check. Yep.
You hear the water.
Nice.
I hear every
Nat 20.
How many 20s tonight?
All right,
How
so
many?
with blind sense, which sense is it again?
It's vibrations within the air that I can feel.
That's 5.
That's it. Just the ability to sense vibrations in the air
Alright.
out to 30 feet.
Out to 30 feet?
Yep.
Okay. You know that there is water. You have an idea that the water goes on for a while because you can actually not only sense, the dampness in the air and everything. You hear a little bit of like a drop in the water, and like some really 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 low kind of like swooshing sounds as the water doesn't seem to be completely still. It's quiet enough that it's not echoing through the cavern, but you pick it up pretty well. This water does seem to go on for a little while.
Okay. Seeing as how Torgrad, right? Yep,
Yes.
Torgrad just kind of proceeded as easily as he did. Schechter is going to make his way over to the water as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to enter the water with my second move. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5.
Oh, you just go straight into the water.
Yeah. Because at this point, I feel like I would know Schechter's off in that direction.
Sure.
Because I can see in the dark and stuff. So I'm heading directly ahead. Oh, well, that would have been. Hey, Torgrad, there's a boat over here.
As you swim into the water and you get to see a little bit more, there's actually what seems to be a rise in land to your directly to your east and to your north, and it's either an island or it is maybe the ground kind of picks up there like it's a little peninsula, because it does seem to be surrounded by water, but there is an area you can climb. This one is a little bit higher. It's 10 feet higher, so it's a bit raised. You can't really see what's on there. You just know that there is a ledge. To your almost 10 feet away from you, as you kind of swim straight out into this little underground lake, you do come into looks like a rowboat, a very rustic old design made out of wood, and it is off to your west, where there is a path, like more land that continues, and it seems to go away from the water body. You can't see too much up there. So that's a 5-foot climb, and you're just not quite there.
Okie dokie.
And that brings us to the students. The Vesk that you bumped into, Karn, I've already forgotten his name. Let me find that. That one was Garong. Hey, Karn, you taking the north corner of this room? We'll take the south. Karn, are you still... Karn, I can't see you. Could you say something?
just did. Did you not hear me?
Oh, sorry. No, try again.
It
Couldn't hear you over the sound of my voice.
said good luck.
All right. And they do the thing. 20, 25, 30. Karn, we got about 30 feet south following this wall. It's starting to get, the ground is especially rocky. I think, and they have to roll reflexes as you hear the sound of falling rocks.
Ah!
Oof. Well, I'll give it, they're not deep into it, so we'll say Patrick's natural 9 probably has some sort of bonus that's a save. The Vesk does not save, and neither does our Riforian. I'll say the Vesk was probably in the lead, and you hear a hiss and guttural roar of pain as rocks begin to hit the ground and something else making some meteor sounds. And you hear both Patrick and Delphinora, I think was her name, if I'm not mistaken. Delphinora cry out and scramble backwards, kind of coming back towards you, Karn. If you listen for a second, you do not actually hear the Vesk again. I'm going to leave that there. And we're going to move on to the next initiative order, which is actually something else. Nick.
That was something completely different.
Boy.
Nick, could you
Yeah.
look at your token?
Okay.
I am not moving anything. I'm just changing the layers of something. Yes?
Yep, nothing's moving. Oh my
Whoa.
god. That is terrifying.
Uh,
Whatever that is.
what rises out of the water, which you probably get a sense for like in the water as it's coming towards you, not that you have any time to make a reaction. From the deep depths of the water, which goes maybe further down than you expected, there is some sort of hodgepodge, mutated maybe, or just really disgusting looking creature. It is green mottled, scaly, slimy skin, a singular giant eyeball above a gaping maw surrounded by teeth, an arm that has claws with webbed claws that kind of pushes it up, and its other arm ending in a mass of writhing tentacles that look almost more like they belong to either an octopus or some sort of sentient, like active plant. And it turns to you. Let me get to the actual right layer now. It turns to you and it attempts to grab you. Now it used most of its time to get like to you, so it's just grasping, like reaching out to you, barely getting the tips of this tentacled, gnarled, excessively large hand against, say, like your legs and kind of climbing up towards your waist. For this one, you can test two things, one of two. You can make a strength check to just try and struggle away from it, or you can make a reflex save. So we'll call that, I'm sorry, an athletics check to try and struggle away from it, or a reflex save to like push off of it.
I would go for a strength here.
Okay, Schechter, let's roll it. This
14?
is your athletics check. 14? Yeah, you are just able to push it away. And I'm going to say that does end its turn. And you shift 5 feet away from it, and you're closer to that rowboat.
Oh,
Give yourself a point of strength.
nice.
All right, and we are at the top of the order with Nazaram.
All right, I'm going to continue down this corridor, but be cautious about it because this is man-made, unlike the rest of the cave, which seemed a bit more natural. So I'm hoping there's no traps down here.
Give me a perception check, please.
22.
You, as you're walking along with your flashlight and maybe hand along the wall, you do see that there is a thin razor line across the floor, about 10 feet further down this man-made path. You could easily jump over it, or you could attempt to disarm it. You don't quite see what it's attached to. It just seems to be in the wall itself, like as a taut wire, a tripwire.
I'm just gonna jump over it.
You can step over it calmly. There's
Yeah.
not any
Yeah.
nerves. It's not high enough for you to actually have to jump. You're able to walk over it, and with that perception check, I'll tell you that you don't actually notice any other traps. So if you want to keep on,
Okay.
moving, you can.
Yep. So that's 10 feet in front of me. I can't just
Yep.
run then. All right, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30. Down here.
At the end of this man-made hallway, it opens up for a brief moment. It gets to about 10 feet wide. Or sorry, 15 wide. It's the widest point. It just looks like they were making room to do some other excavation. End of this hallway, which almost puts you right back to where you started in the dungeon. You can tell pretty quickly just because how far you've moved. I say dungeon, the cavern. There's an old beat up wooden chest.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna go with our friend Karn, who is in the dark.
All right. So just south of me, I heard them screaming.
Yep,
Have
and rocks falling.
said anything else after that? Like, yeah, I know you said I didn't hear the vest. Do I hear the other two?
Yeah, you hear Patrick and Delphinora maybe hyperventilating and maybe groaning a little bit.
All right. So I'm going to slowly make my way towards them and attempt to help them back towards me.
Okay, so you make the way to the sound of their voice. They are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet away from you. So you're able to grab them both and you can pull them back towards the north.
Yeah, that's what I intended.
Okay. Do you look for the Vesk?
At least not at this moment.
Okay. If you were to move back up to where you were, that would really finish your move. But if you go straight up north, you've hit the wall again, and it does seem to keep going north and east.
All right. While I'm grabbing them, I'd like to grab some rocks.
Okay. Yeah, you can grab a couple smaller rocks. Yeah, no problem.
All right. And yeah, I'll just head back north.
Okay. Yeah, you hit the wall with them, and you're good to go. For this one, on their turn, Patrick actually says, "Oh, thank you, Karn. Much appreciated."
I
He's not
drop
Irish.
him.
Sorry. Much appreciated. What was that?
Once we're in like a relatively safe spot, I drop him and put her down.
Less appreciated, friend, but I'm pretty hurt. I think I might have broke something in my leg. Delphinora, how are you doing? She like sucks in her breath through her teeth. She's obviously wounded as well, but not going to disclose how much. Patrick actually assists her, or they assist each other more likely, and they actually go back towards the gate that leads back to the Nexus, and they're going to start leaving. Do you have anything to say as they're heading out, Karn?
Leave that knife you had.
Let me see if she was actually hanging on to that, because she did not do very well with her reflex save. Nope. She's like, if you want the knife, you're going to have to go back for it yourself. It's under the rocks.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it.
All right, then they head out. They kind of, I'll give them a little bit less of a speed because they're wounded, I suppose. All right, and I'm gonna say that does end your turn, so that brings us to Torgrad.
All right.
Torgrad, you hear some splashing behind you. 5, 10, 15, 20. However, you cannot see what's going on.
Okay. Just gonna continue pushing forward. Moves up, takes a quick look at whatever this black mass is here.
Give me either perception or life science.
What is life science?
I'm actually not sure. I would assume intelligence, but I really don't.
I'll do that because it's a straight dice roll. 10.
To the best of your guess, it might be ink. It is like pitch black. Do you touch it?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna lose a point of wisdom for that.
Fine. Add it to my collection.
Give me a not will save, not reflex save.
Fortitude.
Thank you, a fortitude save.
All right. So this plus 1, it is 13.
it had started to burn at your fingers
Mhm.
with not only an acid feel, but something that almost made you like your hands started to almost clench up as it touched it. You quickly draw your scaled hand back and like dash it into the water, get the substance off you as much as possible. That was a little bit more than ink you just played with.
Gotcha. All right. Moving on.
Yes, sure.
Would that end my first movement? Okay.
No. Your first. Nah, that's fine. You could have just take a quick look at it, touched it like a child, and been fine. North of you, you do see that there is a path up from the water.
Mhm.
This is where the kind of the stony ridge I gave you. You
Mhm.
actually could climb, walk out of that without having to do a climb check.
Okay.
And it is a path that just goes further north on ground.
Let's see, so 6. So and those are just rocks. Then I take it.
Yep, it's just a path to show that it's like shallow
Okay.
water that you can climb out of.
All right, that's my first 1, 2, 3. Oh boy.
Dead ahead of you as you get onto the land, you notice that there is a partially opened wooden coffin, as best as you can tell.
All right, kind of peek in it.
There is a half encrusted body in there.
We're here to find what standards.
Yeah, you're here to get out, and you're here to find like banners.
Banners. Well,
Standard would have good word for too. Would have been a good word for it too.
I'm gonna open it.
Okay, tempted to dock you another point of wisdom, but we won't.
I mean, by docking these, I'm just getting more and less street smart, so it makes sense.
So you rip open the thing. I'm gonna assume like you just rip it open, right? The top's gone.
Yeah, just gonna flip it off into the water.
The corpse in there is humanoid and mostly skeletal. The bones look brittle. Give me a perception check or life science. I'll allow either.
Life science. 15.
The features of this creature almost look, obviously the bones, more bat-like than humanoid, where instead of like 2 nostrils or like an open nostril, it wouldn't be 2 nostrils. The open nostril, it's flared out a little bit more, and where the ear holes would be is also a little bit more kind of flared out than you would be used to. Some of the like crusted portions of like maybe it used to be flesh almost look like there might have been some sort of like extra flesh in between with some really thin bones behind it. And where it's like maybe wings would have been, there is a like a flag, like a balled up flag that does seem to match BSU colors. It is under the creature.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go in there and grab it quick.
All right, make a reflex save as the creature attempts to grab you as well.
Straight. 10.
10. Let me give it. We'll just do an opposed roll because I want to do this quickly. You are actually able to forcefully pull your hand away.
Okay.
You have the standard in your hand, and this non-living thing crawling out of its coffin at you.
Great.
And I said that's probably enough for your turn.
Okay.
Let's give that to Schechter.
Okay.
Schechter, you see pretty much everything you sense everything that's going on with Torgrad, that he's like smashing things. Something else is moving in the room. You get, I don't know if you smell as well, but there's a smell of like oily death. And maybe there's like a slight exuberant shout from Torgrad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ah!
Schechter, what are you doing?
Immediately, I'm gonna try to climb up into this this boat here, or the area around the boat. I'm gonna.
Give me an athletics check.
Yep. Let's see what we've got for the old athletics. How about that? Wow, 19.
Just throw away brawl.
Yeah,
I mean,
fail this Inquisition stuff and become a good
hey
guy.
guys, stream boss, if it wants to get rid of rid of brawl, I got another character coming on up.
Schechter, like grabbing hands onto this rock, you pull yourself up gracefully, jettisoning out of the water, landing on the ground in front of you.
And then I'm gonna hop in this boat.
Let me reveal a little bit more for you.
Okay.
And now let me hide a little bit more for
Oh, yep. I was just looking at that.
you. The water isn't that big for the boat from where you are. You might have other avenues around if you want. The ground you're on goes to the northeast, but deeper into the cave, towards the sorry, east, the west. West is deeper in the cave. Towards the east, the ground does curve a bit, and then it does actually hit the water again. So you'd have to either jump over the water or traverse it. And you just from your blind sense, I think you're getting that the opening to the cave, there's a different sense in the north eastern corner.
Okay. How far can I actually move within this boat?
It would be a strength check, and I'm just gonna treat it like how we do the throwing stuff.
Okay. So it's,
DC 5 to get it moving, and then how far you get it moving with each push, I guess.
There's a
I
brawl.
got a 3.
Nah, it's fine. You push off, but in terms of movement, it's gonna be half your speed.
Okay.
It's just half your speed.
Do I still have my movement from the previous, or does that end as I enter the boat?
Not allowed. That took up 10 feet. So you move it half your climb speed. It was 10. So we'll say that you use 20 feet to get in there.
Okay. So then I'm gonna do 5, 10. No, yeah, 5, 10. So that's my first move. Then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
So you're at half speed.
Oh yeah.
So you're here
Yeah.
where the boat is. Yep.
Yep. And that will, or I'll call out, Torgrad, is everything okay up there?
No.
By golly, what?
All right, Nazaram, you're up. Oh no, I'm sorry. The creature's up. The creature attacks your boat.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Boom, 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 and probably enough to connect with the boat. I don't expect damage to be that much though. It's like it gets like a one tentacle smashes into the boat, pulls a couple of planks apart, and the boat is old, so water does start to fill up the bottom, but not enough that you're sinking yet. It does start to try and then climb up onto the boat with its tentacles kind of coming up behind you, kind of slightly touching
Gross.
your back as it's trying to board the boat with you, and that's as far as it's going to get. And for our undead friend, it crumples to dust back into the coffin. That's all it was. You're good.
Yes.
Nazaram, you're up.
Okay, so I'm gonna move forward towards that chest.
Sure.
That's 35 to get there. I'm going to do a perception check on the chest,
Do it up.
just in case I'm not quite trusting of this. I got a 14.
14, you inspect it without like putting too much hands on it. Seems like a mundane wooden chest.
Give it a little kick.
Your foot is a little sore from kicking the chest. It is a little bit sturdier than you initially thought. It doesn't explode. It doesn't grow teeth. So
Well, that's what I was worried about. Like, last thing I want it to be is a mimic.
50% chance of me putting a mimic there. I'll be honest with
Yep. All right, I give it an open up.
75.
you. It's locked.
It's locked.
Oh.
Okay. Can I try to pry it open with the knife, or
You can try and use the knife in the lock with a dexterity, or I don't know what lock picking is in Starfinder. I don't know what they've changed that to. Or you could try.
Okay.
Right?
Try what?
They have to have some physical.
It's engineering. It's
Oh,
engineering.
Oh, right. Everything's
Yeah.
tucked under engineering. You can do an engineering check, or you can just brute strength try to bash it open.
I'm gonna try an engineering check then.
Okay, so you're gonna try and use the knife to like just jam into
19.
the inner workings. Yeah. You pop that sucker open with a knife. You gain a point in whatever stat intelligence governs that.
Cool. I
And
think I like this character better than Seeker too. Jeez, all of our characters are rolling better.
inside of this chest, you find a rolled up standard with the Border Space Union emblem on it, which is just some angular designs. You have one of the standards.
All right, I tuck that into my shirt or a pocket somewhere.
Sure.
So that it's not showing. And I
Make
make
a perception check.
what was that? Make a perception.
Yep.
22. Jeez.
There's grinding and shifting coming at the very end of the hallway.
All right. So the end of the hallway that I came from?
Yeah, that large man-made hallway.
Okay. I'm gonna search for another way out then. Is there anything behind this chest? Underneath it?
Yeah, you move the chest with some difficulty because it is pretty heavy. There's nothing underneath it. And
Nothing
you've just
underneath it.
entered into like the stone wall.
Okay. Another perception check to see if I feel any air coming from
Sure.
walls around or anything.
Yeah.
12.
And like the faintest whistle of no air because you're in a cavern. Shut up, Justin.
It's
No, there's no air, there's no nothing. There is one path in and out of this man-made hallway.
okay.
Unless you had a way to blast through stone.
You should have tried licking your finger, then sticking it up into the air.
All right. So,
Not
What
really giving you
is-
much options in how you handle this, J-Man.
All right. So, where is it's coming from the north, right?
Due north.
Okay. What is it? Can I see at all?
It's at the very end of the hallway. I don't believe your sight goes that far with your flashlight, so no.
Okay. Well, judging by the look of the room, I'm going to say that if this is something that's coming down that hallway, it's not big enough to. Like, it's only going to be 5 feet across. It's not going to end up getting into these little corners, I don't think. So I'm actually first going to kind of walk up a bit more and look down there to see if I can see what's coming out. So I moved 5 feet into my second move. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 would be all the way back there. So yeah, I'll just move to here and I'll look down.
So you're gonna tuck in against that like angular wall. Did you do anything else?
Other than look down there, no.
All right, I'll say your turn ends, and more or less as you expected, like a relatively large, very spherical, metallic ball bearing has been jettisoned down the hallway. And as you kind of nimbly step out of the way, it smashes into the chest and wall behind you. Actually with such force that you feel the wind kind of whip around you as it pushes past, and it smashes through the southern wall, breaching 20 foot of solid stone,
That would have sucked.
almost careening into Patrick and Fiora, who scream again. You've heard them scream multiple times throughout this echoey cavern, and some they're going to make a reflex save because some shards of stone are kind of approaching them. And this time they both hit the deck and kind of cover their heads, and it does. The ball stops without hitting them, and the stone does no extra damage to them. You do have a path back to the Nexus.
These dudes are gonna be terrified of rocks.
have to bring
Just a
up
quick
that.
question, Nazaram. Are you gonna do anything other than leave?
No.
You leave.
Awesome.
All right. So next up is Karn.
I'm going to continue
In the
up the
darkness.
north path.
All right. So follow
Every now and then, I'm going
Yep.
to like throw rocks forward and make noise.
roll me perception.
19.
So you move like a full 30 feet. Your rocks don't really hit anything. As you're rounding the corner, you now are going due north. You hit a wall. You're in a kind of a tighter space. You can touch both walls on the western and eastern side, and you're facing north. You throw a rock, and it hits and thuds. And instead of like the rolling and the clattering you've been used to, it doesn't move. And you threw that, let's call it like maybe 15 feet in front of you. You have now rounded a place where you are seeing sources of light further ahead that are not. Oh, you have low light vision, right?
Yeah.
All right. You're going to start seeing stuff. You are here, bro. Your rock hit a patch of gross, glistening goo that is lit by Torgrad's burning pant leg, and briefly, like very, very barely. You're not getting much sight here, but you were able to catch on that. You do not see Schecter or anything else in the water.
So did
but
the
you hear
rock
splashing?
Did the rock land in it?
Yeah.
The black stuff.
Yep.
Do I notice anything happening to the rock?
With your perception check, not yet, but it will slowly start to. Maybe you hear like a really faint sizzling.
All right.
That was your one move. You still have a move left.
Yep. I'm going to continue moving north, and if I do hear that sizzling, I'm going to avoid the black stuff.
The black stuff is such a way that you would have to actually go into the water or jump over it.
Jump over it, duh.
Yeah, jump over it.
Okay, not a very hard check, man.
Rolls a 1.
10.
10? Yeah, that'll be enough. 10's not enough to give you necessarily a strength bonus for, but you managed to clear it. You're fine. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you've moved to 25 by the time you get there.
Yeah, I was about to say I rolled a freaking 8.
Yeah, if you were to just move straight over it, you would be able to end your turn here. Sound good?
Yep.
Do you say anything to Torgrad?
Have you found any of the banners yet?
He just goes, and he just points to the coffin that's now full of dust.
What?
He does not answer it.
All right. Karn, any rejoinder there?
Do you have any more alcohol?
Yes.
All right. Can I have some so I can create a flame?
Yeah, he'll chuck it over.
Make me an athletics
Yep.
check.
Into the water it goes.
16. Oh, 17.
You get a bonus to your charisma for being such a great guy, and you manage to chuck the flask across. Karn, you're able to do that, and while you're making your torch, we will move on to Torgrad's turn.
All right. So how does my torch look, by the way?
Your hand is starting to burn, bro.
Okay. Tear off a sleeve.
Okay.
But now you don't have alcohol.
What's that?
He's using his like already burning one to eventually light the pant leg, the sleeve leg, or sleeve. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes a little bit to get going. No, that's fine. Where are you headed?
So Torgrad is just going to kind of hop into the water here. Again, torch overhand. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
You do now see Schecter engage with some sort of disgusting looking creature at the back of his boat.
All right. Well then, 5, grab the boat and just kind of drag it with me. 10, 15, and then kind of pull myself over here.
Give me a strength check to pull the boat.
15 plus 1.
Yeah, more than enough. Just unwittingly, you pull the creature along with it. However, you are at the end. How much was that for your move?
I have 5 more.
That's not enough to get back. Oh, no, it's just enough, actually. And I'm not going to give you... You don't need to do a strength check. You can get up on the ground. So you pull yourself ashore with your Sheeran friend. It's your Sheeran's friend's turn.
I take it you found one of the banners?
He just nods.
And the thing behind you...
Yes!
Give me one of the paddles.
So I'm going to there's something pivotal that I could do here. I could either branch off or I could
Steal it.
I'm not well
We're bad guys. You could steal it.
we are bad guys. The problem is, do I make the roll? Because
if I didn't find one, I would have stolen.
Yeah.
Or do you guys literally try to kill each other with a creature sitting right there?
Well, so I still know.
Make a seeker check.
I still know that there's something else over in the top or the eastern side of the room.
Yeah, it does seem there might have been another exit just from what the sense you were getting.
Oh, another exit. I say, well, I don't know if it'd be able to affect Torgrad, but there might be an exit on the eastern side of this room. We might be able to exit through there if you want to accompany me on the boat.
While he's figuring out an answer, this thing is like trying to get up in your business. What are you doing to this disgusting tentacle creature?
That's that like push.
with an orc. Meh.
What are you attempting to do to it though? Like, are you gonna push it off or just let it do its thing?
Push it off. Yeah,
Give me a strength check
sure.
or athletics check.
18. Wow, I'm getting all
gonna
these
make-
strength checks.
It's gonna make an opposed strength check. No, it does not make it.
It must be a female.
You you shove it not for the strength check, for the brawl doing well or Nick doing well. You shove it like into the water and it glides back for a bit, so you have a bit of breathing room.
Tograd says, well, they specifically said retrieve it and get back.
Get out. I don't necessarily think it was back.
Well, that's how he would have interpreted it.
I'm okay with that.
Might you accompany me should there be one more banner left? And they might give rewards based on how many you retrieve.
Let's see. I will do I'll do a tour guide check. Actually, no, he wouldn't care.
Wow.
Yeah, he wouldn't care.
Man, greedy guy like that? Surprised.
Oh, I mean, he already helped you up. He already he got you up here. No, yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah, he's got what he needs. Sorry, friend.
Okay.
Torgrad, are you just heading out of here?
Yeah.
Are you stopping him, Schechter, at all?
I am a bad guy.
Schechter check?
Let's make a Schechter check. I'll make a Schechter.
My
18
audio's
again.
trash.
Okay, I guess Schechter's gonna try to throw Torgrad to the monster.
Jesus. Okay, so as the Torgrad goes to leave, you have to like trip and push. For this one, do whatever check you want, whether it's acrobatics or athletics, where you try to topple him into the water.
Or even sleight of hand. Could make sense.
Yeah, I'd allow sleight of hand as well. Thank you.
What would my role be?
It depends on what he does.
I guess I'm going for a strength roll.
Opposed strength then. Let's do it, guys.
Been rolling high all night. And this is gonna be the
15
2
plus
right
1,
here.
16.
That's 15.
Oh.
Like you give him like a solid push, and like he like stomps a foot down, and you do not go anywhere. Torgrad, what's your response?
He just kind of looks back with disdain. Says, "I will remember this."
I don't blame him.
Torgrad will remember that.
Restarts game.
Restart. I can't have that. No Clementine.
High five.
Doesn't this remind you of certain porridge incident?
Porridge?
Isn't that what it was?
From Divinity. I
Yeah.
just want
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you're not wrong. All right, Schechter, what are you doing now that you tried pushing your friend? You've got one movement action left.
Friend.
Your classmate.
All right. I guess I try to push off in the boat. Just head over there anyway.
Okay. In terms of failing that check, I'm gonna take a dexterity point from you.
Okay.
You
Not
tried
charisma?
pushing him. You tried pushing
Not
him.
charisma?
Let's do charisma instead.
Dang. Well, that's fine. Okay.
Ruining relationships.
Then make a strength to see if I can push off again.
Yep.
And 19. Why couldn't you have done that for the last check? Okay.
You get to move. As far as the boat's concerned, we'll say double your speed.
Oh God. Okay.
You only have one move action left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, hey, buddy.
All right. Yeah, you see Karn, who's now got a glowing pant leg. Karn, it's your turn.
Gonna continue
And
moving
with
north.
what was that?
I
Are
said
you
I'm
lighting your
done.
thing with life science or strength?
I imagine I would have seen that he had torn off sleeves and pant legs and done the same.
Okay, but the way he lit it was he doused it with alcohol, and then particularly with Torgrad, used his claws against rocks to do it, and he used a strength check, I believe, not life science. You'd have the
Yeah,
option to
I'm
do-
sure I would have done the same.
So strength check. Make a strength check.
14.
You are able to light it, no problem. That reveals a little bit ahead. The path for you
Reveals me
north.
the boat.
What was that?
Hello. Reveals me the boat. Hello.
Yeah, creepily coming up in the boat is like undead looking Sharon. Yeah, the path continues north, or there's you can see a little bit more of the water where Schecter's coming in from.
Yeah, I would head north. I would pretend I did not see him.
Just going due north.
Yep.
You find 3 banners on poles, as well as a clearly marked exit on the north corner of the room.
Fuck it, Torgrad.
That is amazing.
Torgrad and Nazrim found bonus banners. Karn, how many banners do you grab?
3.
3 and leave. Schecter, you do not get a banner. Yeah, and you leave. Yes.
What?
That's amazing. I love it.
That's
Oh.
bullshit.
All right, guys. This went way longer than expected. I have 3 more years planned out for this class. I'm not going to get to it. For this,
Pat, go on
Schecter,
vacation again.
what was that?
Pat, go on vacation again. He's in chat right now.
Oh yeah, Pat, go on vacation again. Could you zoom into Pat's token,
Oh,
please?
yeah. Pat, I made this token for you.
Karn, the way you navigated through was pretty brave. You went through pitch black without being concerned. You assisted allies, and actually, you also didn't assist allies when you took those things. I'll give them. Let's see. You're gonna get +2 Constitution for just being able to strength your way through that. I'm going to give you +1 on Wisdom in terms of how you navigated through the darkness. And the stones, I'll actually give you another +1 on Wisdom. So make that a +2 for Wisdom, and a +1 from Strength as you rip those garments off and look at Schecter as you walk through the portal. I don't know if that should be probably a negative to Charisma. I'm just going to give you a neutral because you did help the other guys and you didn't help Schecter. So you walked out of there with some Constitution and Wisdom.
I played it as I didn't notice him because all he did is make a noise.
You definitely would have seen him, but I'll allow you playing it as if you didn't just look back at him as you.
He's not a Vesk, so I didn't care.
That's fair. Torgrad. Oof. Give yourself a double Constitution bonus as well because you did nothing but brave through it. I'll give you another point to Charisma for not ripping off Schecter's head. And let's see. Did any of your other stats kind of get used? Probably not. We'll throw you a bonus to strength just because you had the strength of perseverance to keep going forward. Go with that.
Right.
And for our boy Nazarim, what's your wisdom score right now?
I got +3 and then +2 racial.
What's the wisdom score though? So
so 15.
50. Make it an 18.
18.
Yeah, not only did you go off by yourself, you were also able to navigate a path pretty well without having someone follow you. You were cautious, found a trap, dodged a second trap without having to see the trap. Straight up wisdom. You get no charisma bonuses because you didn't talk to anyone. You didn't use strength for anything. I'll throw you a pity point in intelligence. I know you're taking some hits there, so yeah, I think that's going to be it. And then for our boy Schecter. So you didn't walk out with a pendant. That's not going to go well for you.
I had the wisdom to know that perhaps there's more to the cave.
But you had
I tried to talk my way.
the lack of charisma to attack somebody bigger than
He
you.
already lost the charisma for that. I'm going to
Okay.
give you a pity point in wisdom, and I'm going to give you 2 points in dexterity for just like not even caring about the monster around you, as you kind of like use your hands and feet to just keep it at arm's length. So not quite as much as the other folks, but that's what you'll walk away
Anything for
with.
strength?
No,
Did a lot of strength.
no, you failed at strength. Yes, you climbed, but you failed to push your friend into the water.
Yeah.
He climbed with my help.
But I had like 5 strength 18 rolls. That was just the one that I failed.
Yeah,
You
but that's
also
the one
failed
that
the
mattered.
Yeah.
Pushing a boat off into the water isn't that exciting. Now you got the dex points for it. You'll be fine.
Oh, Dustin, what about the stealth roll of getting all my stuff in?
Take a point of dexterity.
Cool.
All right, because we are way past time. I'm going to say that you guys get out, and everyone's getting a static +2. Sorry, everyone but Schechter is getting a +2 static bonus.
Like, and any other bonuses for bringing out 3?
You get a demerit. Yes. The instructions were very explicit. You were to bring 1 and only 1. Well, okay, it wasn't that explicit. They did say 1. But you get a demerit and you still get the bonus though. Chris, do you already have a demerit?
I have 1, yes.
You get a warning for ripping your uniform. That was a military grade issued uniform.
But I don't get anything for improv.
No. Yes. Intelligence. Enjoy. I'm going to say that you actually get the warning instead of a demerit because you offered to buy new uniforms for everyone, and that gets accepted. And you know what? Give me a diplomacy check. See if that's bought.
13 diplomacy's charisma, right?
Yep.
14.
14. That's enough. Yeah, that's fine. No special bonuses there. So everyone else is getting a +2 inherent bonus to a check you guys are about to make.
Oh, cool.
Except for me.
Except for you. You
Okay.
sit for an exam after this, right after. You guys are ushered into a room, and it is an application form. It's not really an exam as much as an application. And you get to apply to what class specialization, i.e. Starfinder class, do you want to enroll this character into? Each class has its own inherent role. Based on what class it is, I'm going to change what the target number is, but it's specifically based off of their primary statistic. You guys have some inherent bonuses now for certain classes. Maybe that changes your mind. But what we have for the Starfinder classes, which I don't have, I'm going to do from memory. Operative, you guys will need to pass a dexterity check. I'm going to make that a 15. Soldier, you need to pass a strength check of 13. Soldier is kind of the base class. For the Mystic, you need to pass a wisdom test of 15. For a Technomancer, an intelligence of we'll call it 15 as well. I think 15 will be just the intermediate. Have I missed anything other than Mechanic is an intelligence score of go with 14. It's a little bit less involved than the magical arts in terms of where you guys are starting from, but it's still a pretty intense path. And I believe the only class I'm missing is Solarian.
Envoy.
Oh, Envoy. Thank you. Envoy is charisma, and that's going to be another. We'll call that a 14. Charisma 14 test. The Solarian requires 2 tests. You need to get 15s on both Constitution and Strength, and there's a reason for that. Anyone have a class they're interested in jumping into? Mechanic. Torgrad, take the application for Mechanic and submit it to the Academy. What do you get?
You said I get +2 to this roll?
+2 inherent bonus to that roll.
All right. Come on, Torgrad. 20.
Man, you are a mechanic.
Meant to be.
Torgrad has entered the mechanic class. You will still be going through the Inquisition trials. You are still going to end up being an Inquisition officer. However, you are now mechanic class.
And he's the worst at it too.
Nobody else is going to be accepted into the mechanic class, the program.
Karn will go for soldier.
Karn, make your strength check.
Nice. I got 17.
17. You are a soldier. They will accept one more application for soldier. You know what, Schecter? You didn't get one. You're gonna go last. Nazarim,
Ugh!
Well,
what are you applying for?
in my mind, I feel like he would go operative because it's a little bit more like survival sort of deal, and that's his whole thing. However, I think you'd probably do best as a mystic. There's got to be ways to kind of think. So let's go with mystic. Who's gonna get what plus the extra +2? That's it.
Yep. Well, plus your score in wisdom. Yes.
Yeah, which is 4. 14.
With all your bonuses, the +4 and the +2, so you rolled a 9. Not a 9. I'm
8.
sorry. You rolled an 8.
Yep.
You actually get rejected for the mystic application. It was a 15 is what your test needed to be. You are actually still going to stay as a cadet, while 2 of your other members have progressed beyond you. This will have some interplay with future things should we revisit these characters. But for now, your first application was revoked. You do have the ability to apply again in the future in the next year. Next year is your last time to apply before a profession is chosen for you. And Schecter, what are you applying for?
Schecter would like to apply for the envoy position.
Schecter, apply away.
I do not make the position.
I would have been so mad if you made yours and like everybody made theirs except for me, and it's like I have 18 wisdom. 18.
You got the highest stat. I gave you the highest starting stat you can get in wisdom.
Yeah.
That's too bad. That's okay. It doesn't. The class won't change too much next time we play these characters. You just don't have spells, which is unfortunate because you would have gotten spells. So you do not. You get rejected. What is your charisma score?
My highest bonus is a +1. But I have +1 pretty much across the board outside, or I have +1 in strength, dex, and charisma, but
okay.
I have neutral, con, and int, and a -1 for wisdom. So.
I may or may not have a -2.
So you can say that -1 was the unwise decision to try to push Torgrad into the water as opposed to taking that move check to get some banners.
Or tried some type of diplomacy to have me leave one.
I didn't get it. I didn't get an opportunity.
I didn't give any time for that. No, that's fine. I'm not. We're okay with that. What I will say is, you have one more year to apply. After that, you get entered into the special program. I'm going to end tonight's episode here. We are pretty late. If players can't stay for the after party, please feel free to disperse. I will hang out for the after party for a little bit. Thank you guys for playing. I believe we will see these characters again. I will actually just save the other half of this one shot for the next time someone is absent. If it's not Patrick, which it probably will be, but if it's not Patrick, we'll figure out he'll maybe play Patrick the dot controller. Questions before I sign off with folks in chat?
No.
Alrighty, Twitch chat. We are going into the after party for a little bit to talk about the episode or anything you really want to talk about. We will be here at the end. Hopefully, Nick will find us a channel that is playing D&D of some sort to raid. And until next Tuesday, when we resume our normal, mostly harmful campaign, I just want to remind you guys, never split the party.
Yeah, Patrick, because he's not even here.
Yeah, Pat.
No, it's Schecter. He's the one that split the party.
Oh, that's true.
No.
Hey, man.